Hey guys, Babon, I'm back with another speed draw thing, and in this one I am painting a little Jack Russell, which is a commission for a family member of the dog. Here's a few references of her, but you're going to be seeing those as I go through this. So here we go. Okay, so I'm starting off with a few little concept sketches that I did that I sent over for approval. Now I did about 3 of them in different poses, but I didn't really end up liking any of them. So I wanted to go and do one that was kind of in between those two, either side of it. So just working on this one in the center. And I went and cleaned it up a little bit more, and now I'm gonna go and finalize it with some cleaner lines. And this is how I usually work with stuff like this. Like if you see me doing other illustrations and speed draws and stuff, especially that red panda that I did. I think I did about 9 separate little thumbnails before I actually had one that I liked the look of. But the reason I wanted to do a few on this one was because I want it to actually look like this dog that I'm drawing, and the majority of her defining traits are all these little markings that are on her face and the different gradients that she's got and the different like tones and the pattern on her face. So I needed to get some kind of angle where that was clearly visible so that I could capture the likeness of her. And just with this cleaner sketch that I'm doing, I'm trying to keep it nice and crispy because this is what I'm going to put over the top and paint underneath. This is going to be my reference for where everything goes. And you can see that I've blocked out the majority of where all of her markings go just with a straight line so that I can see it. So that I've got a reference for where all these different blocks of value and colours are going to be going, but it's not going to be something that I keep. I'm not going to end up keeping this sketch at all because it's going to be completely lineless and rendered. You can also see I've gone and put a little bit of a frame in the background. I didn't go and record that bit because it's not the most interesting thing to watch. It's just a bit of a placeholder at the moment, and I'm going to go and redo it once I've got the base of her down and blocked it all in as a flat so that I can start painting on it. And I do go and tweak it a little bit after that just because I changed the shape of it, and there's a few bits where it's like getting a bit too close to her nose and stuff. Anyway, on drawing her body, she's kind of a chubby little dog, so she's quite chunky. And I didn't want to keep it just so that her legs and everything were like inside the frame. I wanted to bring them out a little bit so it looked more 3D. So she's got those hanging over the top like this. And there I'm just going around this and blocking it in on a different layer instead of going and doing line art for it because it'd be like a little bit too crisp, and this sketch is clean enough. So I'm just going around the edges and filling that shape in, and that's the layer that I'm going to go and start painting on in Greyscale in a second. But first I'm going to go and redo this border in case I need to adjust this any, like change the size of the dog. It's not going to be too much fuss for me to go and do that before I actually go and start messing with anything more detailed. So I just wanted to make something like nice and cute and swirly because that's the kind of style of things that I want to do, and it's just a cute little portrait, so I can go and make it all cute and swirly. And you can see just on that side there's a few little bits that are getting like a little bit close to her ear and a little bit close to her nose, and it's kind of throwing off the composition a little bit, so I end up going and tweaking it just so she fits inside this frame better, and I've got all my decoration there done. I'm also going to go and redraw it. I've gone and clipped a bit of that out, me going and redoing it in a cleaner brush and just picking some of it out so that the shapes look okay and weave together well. And then I'm going to block that background in so that we've got the definite frame for to put her in, and I can select that and keep everything else that I want to draw inside it with a layer mask for that selection. Okay, so now that I've got that down, I can go and start doing my painting just in Greyscale, and I am going to keep this to Greyscale while I start because it's going to be a little bit easier for me to work on it since I'm going to have 2 different values or local colours in her fur. So we've got the white and where it's black as well, like around her nose and on top of her head. So it's going to be easier for me if I go and block in all the different values for those first, and that allows me to just work out where the light's hitting on each one of them. Instead of having to calculate all the colours as well at the same time, it's going to make it a little bit easier for me, and then I'm going to put the colours on later. So right now I'm just starting to render her out a little bit, block the colours in, figure out where these gradients are going to go. And something else I want to mention is, I don't know if any of you guys have seen my tutorial for how I paint grass, but I pretty much take the same approach for fur like this. You can see where her markings are on top of her head. I've put in some little gradients and it doesn't really match with where the light's going because it is where the white fur is starting to blend into the darker fur, and I'm going to go and put texture over the top of that later, but right now if I just block it down in gradients it's going to give me a base for it, and once I go and put the colours on I can go and do an overpaint over the top of it, and all I'll need to do is go and use the eyedropper to select a colour and start dragging them around to put texture in. But this just gives me the basic kind of transitions between colours that I've got going on. and the same for any of the shading as well. And now that I've got that noodled out a little bit and she's starting to actually look like a 3D shape, like a dog, I can start going and slapping some colours over the top. And I'm gonna go and add some darker shadows in later as I go along. I'm adding a little bit of reflected light from that blue in the background. I'm gonna make it a little bit more glowy behind her later. You can see I've also gone and put a bit of a gradient in the background, and she's also got a little bit of just a rim light around the back of her. And because she's got dark colours and light colours on her, I need something that's going to separate those colours out from the background. So I'm going to put stripes into the back so that we've got light and dark for it to contrast against and create some nice edges. So where there's a dark part, like around that bit on her ear that's foreshortened, on the left side we've got a bit of a light colour next to it in the stripes, but also where she's got whiter parts there's other dark bits in the stripes to contrast against that. And just to pull it out a little bit more, I put that rim light on so that she does stand out from the background more instead of kind of blending into it with similar values. And just starting to noodle this out a little bit more, I've taken that colour layer off just by making the layer not visible and just noodling out these shapes a little bit more and rendering it so that the shapes make sense. And I did just start painting out with, actually, I think it was like the pen tool and one of the India ink brushes that are a little bit more blocky, and now I'm just doing it with a bit of an airbrush to soften some of those chunks out. And the same with this, I can just go and like select bits and pull the colours around using the eyedropper, so that you can pull all those values around and make different little shapes. I'm also going to make her paws. I'm going to make her paws a little bit darker so that they're not drawing any more attention than they need to. They are actually quite white, but I'm going to try and bring a little bit of that purple from the background in. Something that I also didn't like about this at this point, which is something that I go and fix, is that little bit of purple that I put around the eye. I put a little bit of it on her ear around those pinkish tones that she's got to reflect that little bit of purple that is in the background, like that really soft, like dark navy-ish purple blue that I've got as the base colour for everything. But I pulled it around too far and it doesn't really need to be around her eye, so that's something that I go and fix later. Anyway, at this point I've gone and made a new layer over the top, and you can see that because I've got all these different gradients down of where the hair's going to be changing colour and kind of blending into each other, it's given me a base for where everything's going to go, and now I don't even really need to go and select any different colours. From the colour wheel, I'm pretty much just using the eyedropper and going around and selecting these colours that have already appeared in these gradients and colour modes that I've put over the top. And I'm just pulling them around to give a little bit of texture, like pulling the colours of the hair around, so you can see even where I've gone and got some of the white hairs and started dragging them into where it gets a little bit darker, and that's increasing those gradients but also giving it texture. Something else that I want to point out is that I'm not going and doing this over the entire thing. Like, it does take a while because I'm actually like going and drawing pretty much like individual hairs over a lot of it, but I'm trying not to cover the entire thing in these little hairs and not overwork it, because if I do too much then it's just going to look like really grainy and nasty. So the majority of her face I haven't really gone over. I'm trying to keep it to where we can see these strong transitions between the light and the shadow on something, like around where her mouth is or that little bit around her cheekbone. I'm going to be doing quite a lot of that on her belly, where we can see all these different swirls of where the fur's like poking up and creasing together, and the other part is where I've got those little bits of transition between dark colours and light colours, and where the hairs are kind of getting more of a gritty gradient between them because of the texture on them. But even there's still patches where it is just that gradient, or I'm letting that gradient show through a little bit more, so I'm trying not to overwork it. Anyways, I am starting to clean up the nose a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to go and put a little bit more darker colours over it, just with a multiply layer, so that those shadows pop out a little bit more, because it was a bit too light. Something else that I tried to do with this as well was not make it completely dark or completely white. Like when you saw me going and doing it in Greyscale, it was like more of a light grey and a lighter like dark colour, so they weren't completely black or completely white or really that close to either of them, because I wanted to go and have room to go and put darker little occlusion shadows in places and stuff so that the shapes would stand out more. You don't want to go straight for the really dark straight away, because you don't really have anywhere to go if you want any smaller shadows in creases and things after putting like your initial ones down if they're too dark. I am doing a few places on this where I'm going and selecting different colours from the colour wheel, but it is really rare for me to do that when I'm painting. It's just like a couple of different little things if I want to change the value of something. Like when I was repainting the nose there, it wasn't quite the right shade, it needed to be a little bit darker. But most of what I'm doing, like I mentioned before, is just me going and using the eyedropper to select the colours that I already have and just dragging them around. And like I say, because I've done this with a lot of gradients with the airbrush tool, it's really easy for me to have like a whole array of colours on the go for me to go and select. And because I've got that gradient, if I do want to sharpen it up, I can just go and select like whatever point in that gradient that I feel is the right kind of colour and the right kind of value, and I can just go and like paint it on in a sharper chunk. Like I'm doing on the feet now with these sharper little chunks of shadow and colour onto the just putting in where the little tendons are on her feet so we kind of see shadows on those. Something that I'm also going to do with that border that I've drawn on in white is to go and put a little bit of shadow on that underneath where her feet are. So I'm just going to lock the transparency on that and put a little bit of a bluish shadow underneath it so that it's darker under there. And again, so it looks just a little bit more 3D, so that it's not a dog on a completely flat background. It feels like there's a little bit of an interaction between them. Just adding a few more little details on, some more shadows and that behind her and around her. I changed this border a little bit to fill in this top area because it was kind of blank. There's a little bit more glow behind her as well, so she's got a little bit more light behind her to make her stand out. And a few more little details, just adding the hair on where it's going to be lit up by that rim light at the back. I also went and added just a few more little details in the fur on her where there's long bits. I've put some whiskers on her, and I'm going to put a little bit of light around the bottom of her feet so that they stand out a little bit more from the background, because the values were getting a little bit too similar. And there we go, it's done. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helped. If it did, give us a like, share if you think it'll help someone else, and subscribe for new videos on Fridays. There'll be links down in the description to my Discord group if you want to come and chat art stuff with us. We also have monthly art challenges on the go now. There'll be links down in the description to where I post stuff, as well as where you can get prints of stuff that I've already drawn, and my commission information if you want something done for yourself. Lastly, here's a few links to relevant videos where I kind of paint in the same way or take the same approach to something, and a few tutorials. Yeah, thanks for watching, lads. Bye-bye.